Hello, good day, good evening. This is Dr. Brendan. And today's lesson is an Excel 365 2021 version from Shelley Cashman. And the company's name is Insight Healthcare Consultants. This is the Capstone project for modules 1 to 3 in Excel. And by now, you should have already downloaded all the files that you need. It's only the instruction, which is you see on my screen, and this is what we're going to use to complete your project. And the other file is the start file with the ending in _1, which we are going to rename. Okay, so the project steps for Insight Healthcare Consultants has about 21 steps. Okay, so when you download your Excel start file, make sure that the cell B6 is showing your first name and last name. Otherwise, you can download a copy again. Okay, so let's start. Your start file should have a naming convention, which you can see here. Okay, and we're going to rename that to SC_EX365_CS1-3A_first last name_2. Okay, and the first step is Carla Aranga is a senior accountant manager at Insight Healthcare Consultants, a consulting firm that works with hospitals, clinics, and other healthcare providers around the world. Carla has created a workbook summarizing the status of consulting project for Everett Hospital, and she just asked for your help to complete the workbook. First thing is go to project status worksheet, unfreeze the first column since it does not display the information that applies to the rest of the worksheet. Go to the start file. First thing, I need to change the file name, and just changing the -1 to _2. Okay, so just type 2, and I'm just going to move this in my downloads folder for now. Okay. Alright, so and then it says that on project status, I'm going to unfreeze. So to do that, select the View tab, select the Freeze Panes drop down menu, and select Unfreeze from the menu. Okay. So step 2 in J1, I'm going to just use the Now function and then apply the short date. Back to the start file. Okay, so this is the J1, and I know that it's in J1 because the name box shows cell J1. Okay, so from here, select the Formulas tab. Under the Date and Time menu, drop down menu, select the Now and select OK. And then it doesn't stop there. Click Home, and then from here select the short dates from the drop down menu. Okay, back to step 3. We're going to format the worksheet title as follows to use a consistent design throughout the workbook. And in cell B2, going to apply the shading color with the dark red accent 6 letter 40%. Let's do that first. Cell B2, which is here. And then it says fill shading color is under Home tab. Under Font Group, this fill color or the bucket icon that you see here, select the drop down menu, and I'm looking for dark red accent 6 lighter 40%. So the last column, I think the 4th row should have dark red, accent 6, lighter 40%. Click it once and then change the font color to white background 1. Okay, so this is the font color and I need to change it to white background 1. Back to the instruction and then merge and center the contents of B2 across B2 to H2 and then auto fit to resize row 2 to best fit. Back to the start file and we're going to select B2 to H2. So B2 to H2 is here, B2 to H2, and then merge and center should be in the alignment group. Select the drop down menu, select merge and center, and then select row 2, go to the home tab, under format menu select the auto fit row height. Okay, so that's the end of the step 3. So on step 4, format the billing rate data as follows to suit the design of the worksheet and make the data easier to understand. In cell I2, you're going to italicize the contents to match formatting in cell I1 to here. So it's cell I2 is the billing rate, and then from the front group just select italics. Okay, back to the instruction, and then we're going to apply the currency number format to cell J2. Okay, back to the start file. So J2 is here, so my name box shows J2, and this time we're going to select the number group, which is under home tab. Select the diagonal drop down arrow to open the form or the format cells, and this time I'm going to select currency. Select OK. Okay, back to the start file. Okay, so I want to see if that's correct. You see here the 85 is with the $sign, and in here the professional therapy systems, they should be in the middle, so let me check. Okay, and it is. Okay, they're both in the center. Okay, moving on to step 5 in the instruction. Format the data in cell A4 as follows to display all of the text. Merge the cells in the range A4 to A13. Okay. And then rotate the text up in the merge cell so that the text reads from bottom to top. Then we're going to middle align and center the text. Let's do ABC first. Okay, so this is the A4. We need to merge, so we need to select A4 to A13 and then select from the home tab, under alignment, the drop down menu from the merge and center, and select merge cell. And then B is rotate the text up. So under the alignment still, you see this AB with the diagonal arrow up. Select the drop down arrow and then select rotate text up. Okay. And then select middle align and center the text. Still under alignment. Middle align is here right now, it's the bottom align, so we need to select middle align. And then also select center. Okay, back to the instruction. We're going to remove the borders from the cell and resize the column A to 4. the width to 4. Back to the instruction. Okay, so you're still selecting the A4 to A13, and then we need to remove the border. So select no border, and then select column A. You can right click from here, select column width and type 4, or you can also go to the format, column width and type 4, and it's the same. Back to the instructions. So step 6, format the data in row 4 as follows to show that it contains column headings. Change the description to use service description as the complete column heading. Okay, so let's do that. So this one is the description. Select F2 or press F2 to be in the edit mode, but go at the front of the letter D under description, type service and space, and then press enter. Okay, so it should say service description. Okay, so and then apply the accent 6 cell style to the range B4 to H4, and then use autofit to resize column D to its best fit. Okay, so select B4 to H4, so B4 to H4, and then go to the styles, select the drop down menu to open the gallery and look for accent 6 in the titles and heading. Select column D and then right click. Okay, right click to, no it doesn't, so like select column D, select home, select format, and then we need to auto fit the column, so auto fit column width. Okay, back to the instruction. Step 7, Carla wants to include the actual dollar amount of the services performed in column E. So in cell 7A, in step 7A, in cell E5, enter a formula without using a function that multiplies the actual hours D5 by the billing rate J2 to determine or to know the actual dollar amount charged for general admin services. This will include the absolute reference to cell J2 in the formula. So let's check that out. Back to the start file. Okay, so in E5 is here. So that's E5, right? Okay. So E5, we should enter equal sign, and then D5, and then multiply times J2, but press F4 on your keyboard to make it absolute value, and it will add this dollar sign in between the J and then before the 2. Okay, so press enter. Okay, so that's the formula, D5 times J $J$2. It multiplies the actual hours times the billing rate here. Okay. Okay. Use the fill handle to fill the range in E6 to E13 with the formula to include the charges for other services. Okay. So use the fill handle, but just without the formatting, because this one here is it's formatted with the orange or red line, underline. Okay, so we don't want to lose that. So use the fill handle, drag the formula all the way to E13, and then you see this icon here, the autofill option. Select the drop down menu and fill without formatting. So that retains that underline or the format in cell E13. Okay, back to the instruction. Now we're going to format E6 to E13 using the common number format and no decimal places. Back to the instructions. So this is column E6, actually E6 to E13. Then you're going to select the comma number, but then there should be no decimal places. Okay, and then back to formatting. You will see here, we can check the final, which is correct here. There's no, on letter E, there's no decimal places. Okay. Back to the instruction, step 8. Carla needs to show how much of the estimate remains after the services performed. Provide this information as follows. In cell G5, enter a formula without using a function that subtracts the actual dollar billed E5 from the estimated amount F5 to know the remaining amount of the estimate for general admin services. So the formula would be equal sign F5 minus E5. Okay. Back to select G5. Okay, so G5 is here, and the formula would be equal sign, point to F5, or you can type F5 and then minus point to E5 or type E5 and then press enter. Okay, and then back here we're going to use the fill handle to fill the range G6 to G13 with the formula in G5, and then use the comma to format with no decimal places the range G6 to G13. Okay, so back here, use the fill handle and drag the formula down, and then select again the menu, fill without formatting, and then select the G6 to G13, click comma under number group, and then reduce the decimal. Should be without decimal places. Okay, so that's step 8. Now back to step 9. Carla wants to show the remaining amount as a percentage of the actual amount. Enter the information as follows. So in cell H5, enter a formula that divides the remaining dollar amount, cell G5, by the estimated dollar amount, cell F5. So in H5, cell H5, the formula would be equal sign G5 divided by F5. Okay. And then just copy the formula this time from cell H5 to range H6 to H14, pasting only the formula. Formatting to display the remaining amount as a percentage of the actual amount for the other services and the total amount. Okay, so in H, so I'm talking about the H5. So the H5 should be equal sign, point to G5, and then divided by F5. Okay. And then copy the formula, and then select H6 to uh, 14, and then copy, paste, go to paste, and then just copy the formula. Okay, this will be corrected later on. So that's step 9. Okay, step 10, calculate the project status total as follows. This time we're just going to use the sum formula for ranges D5 to D13. Let's do that. And so go to D14, D14. So D14 is here. Select the auto sum from the editing group and double click it. Okay, so if you will double check, that's still the equal sign sum, D5 to D13, open and close parentheses. Okay, press enter. And then, so this is the sum function. Use the fill handle to fill the range E14 to G14. Okay. So use the fill handle E14 to G14. Okay. This one I'm going to change it to percent, so it should be 27%. Okay. And then apply the accounting number format with no decimal places to the range E14 to G14. So from E14 to G14, apply the accounting number, so that will be under the number group. Select the diagonal drop down menu and click accounting from the number tab, and with no decimal places, so select 0 and press OK. So back to here. Step 11, Carla wants to identify the services for which Insight has billed more than the full estimated amount. So we're going to use the conditional formatting in the range H5 to H13, and the rule should be value less than 1% in light red text with dark red text. Light red field with dark red text. Okay. Okay, let me see. Here is H5 to H13. So H5 to H13, highlight. Okay. H5 to H13, and then select home. Select conditional formatting, select highlight cells, go to the right, and then this time we're going to use less than, and type 1%, and light red fill with dark red text is already selected, so you just need to select OK. Okay, and then 12, Carla imported data about the consultants working on the Everett Hospital project and stored the data on a separate worksheet, but wants to include the data in the project status worksheet. We're just going to copy and paste the data. Go to the consultants worksheet, copy the data from B12 to G12, return to the project status worksheet, paste in cell J3, keeping the source formatting when you paste it. Okay, so let's do that. Go back to the start file, and then this time go to the consultants, and then just highlight everything here. It should be from B2 to G12. Select copy, go to the project status, and then go to J3. So J3 is just below that cell that has $85. And then from the paste menu, select the one with the keep source formatting. Click it once, okay, and then so that's it for that, okay. Then now moving to step 13, Carla needs to list the role for each consultant. Those with 4 or more years experience take the lead, otherwise take the associate role. So the argument would be in cell N9 on the project status worksheet, enter a formula that uses the if function to test whether the number of years in M5 is greater than or equal to 4. If it's more than 4, then display lead. If less than 4 years, then display associate. Okay. Um, Back to here. So I'm going to select N5. Okay. So N5, and then select formulas, and this is under logical drop down menu, select if, okay. So now select the M5, and then write the argument. So if it's more than or equal to 4, right, if M5 is greater than or equal to 4, then display lead. If not, display associate. Okay, associate. And then copy the formula in N5. Copy. Click home. Select copy. And then select N6 to N13. You can select paste drop down menu and then select the formula only. Okay, you can also do this by selecting copy and then highlight the same cells, then right click again, and then you can select this formula to give you the same answer. Okay, back to here. You're now going to, I did the copy, the formula only, and then column N, select column N, we're going to resize to autofit. Okay, back, select column N, and then select the format tab. This time we're going to select autofit column width. It just adjusted a little bit, okay? So making sure we're not forgetting anything. So here Carla wants to include summary statistics about the project and the consultants. Include this information as follows. So in cell D6, we're going to use the average function to get the average number of experience in M5 to M13. Okay, back to the start file, go to D6, D16. So D16 is here, D16, okay. Select the formulas tab, the more function drop down menu, select statistical and select average, and then you should be selecting the M5 to M13. Isn't that correct? I'm just double checking. Yes, M5 to M13, and select OK. Okay, and then in step 15, make the 3D clustered column chart in the range B17 to H31 to interpret as easier to interpret. But I believe there is already one here. We're just changing the type. Okay. Change the chart type to clustered bar chart. Use actual project hours as the chart title. Let's do those two first. Sometimes it's hard to follow when there's too many steps that we're doing it all at once. So select the chart. This time select the chart design and then change chart type to uh, right now is 3D clustered column, as you can see, but we want the clustered bar charts. So select the bar, and then so now right now it's selected the clustered bar, so just click OK, and then it changes, right? Double click the chart title. This one should be actual project hours, so I'm just going to insert the word project in between the actual in the hours so that it reads actual project hours. Click it outside, close the format plot area by clicking X. Okay, and then next one is I'm going to add a primary horizontal axis title and then type hours as the axis title, and then add the data labels in the center of the bar. Okay, so click again inside the chart, and in the chart elements, click chart elements, and then select, we're adding the primary horizontal axis title here, and then select the primary horizontal. See here, the primary horizontal, we're going to type hours. Okay, so it should be capital H, small o, O-U-R-S. Okay, and then back to the chart elements, and then this time the data labels should be in the center, so as you can see it here now. Okay, if I make it big, okay, you can see the data labels. Back to the instruction, we're going to delete row 33. So scroll up, select row 33, right click, and then delete. Okay, back to the instruction. So that's done. Okay, so step 17, go to the schedule worksheet, rename the schedule worksheet to project schedule. Okay, schedule worksheet, double click or press F2, and then this one should read, let's see, project schedule, and then space, press enter. Okay. And then step 18, each service charts on a different date because the services depend on each other. Okay, so in cell D6, enter a formula without using a function that adds 4 days to the value. So this is the formula. Okay, so D6, in cell D6 should be C6 plus 4. Okay, go to D6 here. D6 should be equal sign, point to C6 plus 4. Okay, and then in E6, this is the formula, C6 minus 3. In E6 equal sign C6 minus 3. Okay, and then on F6 the formula should be E6 plus 2. Okay, F6 should be equal sign E6 E6 plus 2. Okay, and then in G6 it should be C6 plus 2. Okay, equal sign C6 plus 2. Okay, so 5, 17, 21, 14, 21, 16 and 19. So here there's no formula, so here is C6 plus 4, and E6 is C6 minus 3, and F6 should be E6 plus 2, and then the last one, G6, is C6 plus 2. Okay, then we're just going to copy the formula in D6 to D7, D9, E6 to E7, E9, F6 to F7, F9, and G6 to G7, G9. So from here, D7 to D9, and I believe we can also select all of it and then just use the fill handle. Okay, and then you can double check. So see here, C6, C7. Okay, then here is C6 minus 3, 7 minus 3, 8 minus 3. Okay, and then this should be E6 plus 2, E7 plus 2. So the formula works even if I didn't do it one by one. Okay, so here the next one is in cell C11, we're going to use the minimum function to and then get the minimum date or the start date from C6 to G9, and then on cell C12 same thing, but this time we're going to use the maximum function for the same range, C6 to G9. Okay, so this is the C11. Go select the formulas tab and go to more function, drop down menu, select statistical, go to the right, and then select minimum, and then highlight all the dates. So that would be C6 to G9, press OK. And then from the completion date, select the formulas, more function, statisticals, and go down the list to look for max. And then highlight all the dates from C6 to G9. Press OK. And that's the end of the end of it, but it says here the value in J1 has been intentionally blurred as it will never be constant because that's the date. Okay, save your changes, close the book, and then you can upload your assignments. So let's look at the final figure. Project status is here. Let me see. Okay, just go here, then back to the instruction file and go down the list here. So just make sure that they are correct. Just scan. Okay, so that's correct. 584 to 27. Okay, and this one is 85. Okay, that's correct. And then the chart has actual project hours, and then the access title for hours. And then go down the list and look for the project schedule. So 517 to 71. Let me see. 517, 71, 514, 73. So everything is correct. So I'm now going to save this. Save as, click save, and then press OK. This is the end of the video, and I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching my video. Bye for now.